There's,
your parents grew up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and look, we're fine. We're doing good, So I feel like it's kind of like our duty to help out. That's where we came from. That's where we grew up. And we just see it getting worse and worse. And no one's really doing anything to change it.
Are they old enough and to be aware of what you guys are doing right now? Like, do they ask questions? Are they intrigued and trying to help and trying to figure out,
My daughter asks why, but she doesn't really understand why they're out there and why we're trying to help them yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's 5 and her oldest is 7.
And sometimes I don't even know how to explain to him.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is why they're out there.
Yeah.
This is
what's
happening.
Innocence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, well, they made this choice.
Right.
And because sometimes it's really not a choice. Sometimes you just end up there and there's not much you can do about it.
What's some of the things you've learned along the way as far as problems, solutions that you wanted to come up with, problems that you didn't know were problems until you started doing these things, stuff like that?
That's a good question.
I guess the approach, just having our phones out in front of them, and they just get real. Don't take a picture of me or don't record me.
It's a lot of pride.
Just
not pride, but confidence.
How would you feel if someone's just out there recording you and you're not in your best place in life? Mm-hmm. Also, I feel like there's a lot of people that just judge them just by looking, and they can be doing whatever they're doing, but you don't know what got them there. Mm-hmm. And so you really have to let go of all that judgment in order to be able to help in any way.
Have you built relationships with some of these people, or do you see people often, or is it just kind of every time you guys do is different group of people, or do you see?
I honestly feel like if COVID didn't happen, we would have been able to build more relationships because we had a lot more planned for this year. Mm-hmm. But because we had almost 10 months without being out there, it kind of pushed us back a little bit. So hopefully things get better and we can actually go out there and do more, because we were really nervous. We have kids. She was pregnant. She just gave birth.
Had a baby.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
And now I'm pregnant. So the fear of just getting out there and something happening or bringing something back to our kids was really intense up until this last event, where Josh was like, it's okay. You guys can come out. We'll be safe. We can do this. We can get you guys back out there. And that's kind of all right, well, we really do. We really can. We did this event. Nothing bad happened. It went well. We can get back out there and really do what we need to do.
Do you feel when you guys do step out and do these events and try to give back, do you feel any unsafeness, I guess you can, I don't know the word I'm looking for is, but do you ever feel there's a sense of danger when you're going out to help some of these people? Or
I want to say no.
No, I've never been scared to go out there and do anything.
You're good.
I mean, there was one time where we did we were giving out bags, handbags, mm-hmm. to women with the hygiene products in them, and we did that from our car, which probably wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the safest.
So that felt the most unsafe, and it's weird because we were we're in the car, nothing can really happen to us,
but we would literally pull over, stop the car, and then
and
they
we
would
got
all just crowd around our car, and I'm
because they knew.
Once you gave one out, they kind of
they
knew
were all
what
just
was
come
going
in.
on.
Okay.
As opposed to having a table and being all right, you just have to wait.
Set up a line.
And you guys come up one at a time. And we didn't think that way until we did that. We were well, from a car, they can't do anything. And it was so hectic and crazy that we're all right, never again. Set up our table. That feels way better. That feels safer. And I feel they're more...
A lot of trial and error.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're still learning. We've only been doing this for 2 years, and then one of those years was COVID. So.
Yeah, that sucks. What's some of the growth you guys had? From when you started, what are some of the things that you've noticed that you had to tighten up? Hey, this is noticeably better than what we used to, how we used to do things. And
our asking for donations was very broad. We were just hygiene products. And so we were getting all kinds of things
we weren't really being specific on what exactly
was going to go in the bags.
But I feel like now we're like,
So now
okay,
we're like,
we
all
want
right.
this, and that's it.
Here's
Don't
your
include
list.
anything else, nothing extra. Because, when we're out there, we want everyone to have the same bag. We want them to all have the same products. Nobody have more, nobody have less.
Right.
Which
People get jealous
before
of-
we were just
yeah.
giving out random stuff, and it was like, okay, well, we just gave her more of this, and we just gave her
we
more
gave
of
her
that.
20 pads, and she only had 5, and
Yeah.
so it
So
was
I feel
kind of like,
we're a lot more organized now.
and we're very specific. Like each bag gets 5 of this, 10 of this, 1 a pair of socks, a toothbrush. Like, so it's very.
What's some of the steps to planning? Like how, like when you guys have an idea for an event that you guys want to do, walk me through how you guys set it up. Like,
Okay, so we actually have an event coming up on Black Friday. We're making lunches, and then we're going to actually have our hygiene products. So we really just sat down and we were just talking.
We've been friends since we were 15.
Yeah.
So we kind of just like spend all day talking to each other and figure out
who's going to
a plan.
Who wants to help?
Who's going to do this? What are you going to do? What am I going to do? How are we going to get people to help? You reach out to these people. I'll reach out to these people. We make a flyer. We post it. We see what comes in first. And then we kind of work off that. And after like a week of posting and people reaching out, then we kind of know exactly, all right, well, we're going to be able to make this many lunches. And we're going to be able to make this many bags. And what's going to come out of pocket for this? So because we do come a lot out of pocket, we made Fem Fighters
I don't
gear.
know if you see my hoodie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But we do have hoodies, we have t-shirts, we have cups,
like tumblers,
keychains.
keychains that I handmade.
there you go.
I would never make again.
No, it was a pain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sticking to the other stuff. But yeah, so we'll do that. So people that don't donate necessarily or don't really want anything to do with, they just buy our products.
I was gonna say
And
some people
so-
want things in return
Yeah,
for their
like,
donation. So
They're
that's
like,
great.
oh, that hoodie's cute. Let me just
So
buy
let
that.
me just get the hoodie, and there's
Yeah.
$25 or $35 for you.
There you go.
And so we do, that does do well for us. So we'll go and do like the pop-up shops that a lot of organizations do and sell our products there, because obviously we're not going to sell products to the homeless.
Yeah.
But that's our way of also getting more people behind us, because most of the pop-up shops that we do are really out of where we're at. So like the last one I did was in South Philly, and no one there knew who we were because we're North and Northeast Philly. And so that really got some people behind us and got some outside donations that wouldn't regularly donate to people in Kensington because they have no idea. They don't come over here for anything. So with each of our products, you get a little thank you card, and it tells you what your donation's going for or what your purchase is going for. And so that's kind of how we reach out further.
That's big because a lot of people like to know, you can blindlessly donate to whatever charity,
right,
but you don't know where your
exactly.
money's going.
Yeah.
So when you have that transparency, people are more willing to donate or even spread the word about your donation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like, because we were like, what are we going to make products for? Like, who are we going to sell these products to when we're just trying to help the homeless? And so we were like, all right, well, let's make something that tells people why we're selling this. And those products came completely out of pocket. So she put up half, I put up half. We did that. And
That was good, though. We sold a lot of stuff, and that pretty much got us
that pretty much
all of
paid
the
for this
hygiene-
event that we're having now.
for
There you
Black
go.
Friday.
So this is probably our first event where we didn't have to put anything out of pocket, because between the products that we sold and the donations that we're getting covered what we need to do.
Nice.
So it's
So-
working out.
So when you guys have like do you guys ever like take surveys and stuff like that on what people might need, or have you ever thought about doing that?
No.
I don't think we ever really thought about that.
Okay.
We were just like, okay, well, this is
I mean,
what
obviously
we
you
need
know what
as
you
a-
need,
yeah, exactly.
and usually
If I was
in
in
a
that
generality,
position,
in a
this is what I would
general,
need.
yeah, in a general thing, you know what you need, and that works.
That's pretty much how we
But-
narrowed it down to like
Okay.
our 5 or 6 items that we put in the bags.
Have y'all ever got like unusual requests for things, or any critiques from other like people? I know
Think so.
you laughing
this
like
week.
yeah.
It was just more like asking to put extra things, and we were like, well, I don't know how you're gonna separate those extra things and individually between people. So this is why we're doing it this way.
Right. You want to share?
We just don't want to.
It's all right. You can share. If you don't want to share, you don't have to share. But
It's just like some people will just DM us like, oh, you should do this. And we're like, it's a good idea, but realistically, it's not going to work. Realistically, I don't want to put my hands on things that people are going to use for their hygiene.
Got you.
I want to make sure that it's covered and clean and I'm not touching
Packaged,
it.
individually wrapped,
exactly.
so you don't have any cross-contamination.
Yeah. I wouldn't want it if it's been through your hands.
Right.
So I'm not going to give it to them.
Right.
I don't care what their situation is. I don't care how they're living, whether they're able to go to the bathroom or not. Like, I don't want them to feel like, all right, well, she put her hands all over this. I don't want it.
Right.
Even if it is for free, because I don't know where she's been.
Right. No, for sure. Just because it's free doesn't mean, and just because they're in the situation they're in doesn't make them any less human.
Yeah. Exactly. And so that's kind of like what I want to tell people. Like, they're human. They're us. They're just in a bad situation. We could end up there tomorrow. Like, you don't ever know how someone got into that situation. And that doesn't take away from them wanting to be clean or taken care of or have hygiene or not get COVID, because especially in those situations, you get COVID and you're done. Like, what are the resources that you have, really? Yeah.
Not like they got healthcare.
Exactly.
What are some of, so doing what you guys do you have you have any pushback on, like, when you go out to help? Like, do you have significant others who are just like, hey, I don't really feel safe with you going out there and doing these things, or, you know?
No, I mean, my boyfriend actually pushes us. He's like, okay, COVID set you back. Get out there. Go do something.
Yeah, mine too. He's like, I think it's time, like, you guys are okay. Like, it's time for you to get back out there. Like, I understand COVID, but this is what you guys signed up for. Yeah. And so, like, get your butts up and go do it. Right. So pretty much the people around us all really support what we're doing and really put their own effort towards our organization, and they really help out a lot. Like, especially her family, they're
my family is very supportive. Like, and we actually have people who just are steady donators. Like, they donate to every single event we have. They buy every single product. Like, we have a good amount of people behind us. I work in the suburbs, so they have no idea what's going on. They're like completely clueless. And same here. Some of my coworkers like, why are you doing that? Why do you go down there? And sometimes I have to sit there and explain to them, because literally they're not around that environment. They're from Bucks County and Abington and stuff like that. They don't see what we see every day from the city.
They grew up completely different than we grew up. Like, they always had everything they needed. They never struggled. So a lot of people from my job especially will just hand me money, because they're they're not going to go down there because they don't feel comfortable. Two, they see what we post and we're like, oh my God, like, I didn't know it was that bad. Or like a Netflix special, or they see something about Kensington and they're like, oh my God, that's really where you go and help? And I'm like, yeah, that's really where I go and help.
I always say this I've said this countless amounts of times on the podcast. People don't really care about anybody's problems until it directly affects them.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you have, like you said, a Netflix special, or you show them on your IG, like, this is what we're doing, people are like, oh my God, that's a thing, that's real.
Yeah.
Like, this is real life. Like, Hollywood isn't. I know Hollywood is a dramatization of everything, but this is.
But no, this is real. Maybe Hollywood has downplayed it a lot, because I feel like it's way worse what we see than what we see on TV.
Yeah, but it's good that you do that, because it gives them an opportunity to see, oh, this is not my life. This is not what I'm used to, but this is obviously a problem. Yes. Mm-hmm. And you guys are highlighting that problem by coming up with solutions, as we said earlier. What are do you guys ever have, like, men who want to help, but it's a weird dynamic because of helping a specific group of people? Just as a comfortable feeling, you know what I mean?
Usually when men want to help, we kind of like, all right, we're going to do an event with Josh.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Josh is pretty much
he's like our
go-to
buffer
guy.
He's like, all right, well, we have some guys that want to do some stuff, and we're just like, all right, when's Josh having an event? And then we'll kind of let them know, like, all right, we're gonna have Josh. We're gonna have an event with so and so, and so there'll be men there, and we can, you know, people will feel comfortable with you coming, and it won't be weird. But mostly it really is mostly females that really reach out. The men are like the ones that know us personally. Those are the ones that really reach out and try to help.